So we have a point on which I want to bring that really corresponds with the whole issue of Chametz and Pesach and Mitzrayim, but really in the eyes of the Kabbalah, because it doesn't really seem to make so much sense, like what was the big deal of Mitzrayim and so on and so forth, and can we learn anything for it today? Leshon, the word of Mitzrayim, Meitzar, is usually referred to a place which is a narrow place. Mitzrayim, what they did to the people is they made them very narrow, very small, tight. They held everybody by a leash. Excuse me. Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim lost the title of an Am. Because when we say Hamotzi Goy, Mikerev Goy, in other words, Mitzrayim swallowed Am Yisrael, that they became a part of Mitzrayim. Goy, Hamotzi Goy, Mitoch Goy. Paro was so smart that he was able to hold Bnei Israel by the throat. Let's call it this way. Could be other places, but he held them by the throat, like this, tight. He did not allow them any room to grow, to develop. They were on a verge of disappearing. They were already swallowed by Egypt. And we say swallowed by Egypt, we're talking about the culture, we're talking about everything. It was, in a way, almost sometimes we have it like this today. Today, in many places where there is prosperity and there is openness and tolerance and so on and so forth, the Jews disappear into the nations by default almost. They just become it. So we can learn a lot on this issue from how to do so. So what he did, he basically canceled the chayut, the liveliness of Am Yisrael. There was no chayut. It became almost like a dead body. Excuse me. If you look today, Rabotai, at American Jewry, the only ones who are still alive as Jews are those who hold on to the Torah. Those who learn, who practice Torah on a daily basis. Those who don't, vanish. Why? Because it still has its grip on you tight, on your jugular, right there. It holds you. You can't swallow. Can't swallow. It's very tight. And you disappear, or just vanish. That was the great danger of Mitzrayim. To solve this situation, you need tremendous miracles. So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it, that the birth of Am Yisrael as a nation was through the Yetziat Mitzrayim. And as in birth, the process of birth, and by the way, this is maybe will answer some of the questions that people have regarding miracles, how come we don't have miracles, and so on and so forth. When a person is being born, at the moment of birth there is enormous amount of miracles. The whole process from conception and on is a miracle. But at birth itself, all of a sudden the baby is out, all of a sudden the mouth that was closed opens up, he starts to get air from here, the stomach closes up. It's a crazy mechanism. Miracles upon miracles. You call it science, I call it a miracle. You can call your mother by her first name, but she's always going to be your mother. This is a miracle. Am Yisrael, we came out of Mitzrayim, needed a lot of these miracles. It was the birth of Am Yisrael. Today, do we have miracles? Of course we have miracles. Moshe, sit back. You're banging the thing. Today we also have miracles. But the miracles are different, just like a person when we are alive. The miracle of the heart keeps on going all the time. And and metabolism works and so on. There's a miracles, daily miracles that happen, but not like those big bang, because we don't need to be born again. I think the other miracle is that when we die, that the neshama is separate. That's a miracle as well, but we don't see it as a miracle. But nevertheless, it's a miracle. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu thought to take Mitzrayim out, and the main thing that is associated with Yetziat Mitzrayim is the issue of Chametz. Chametz is a big thing in Pesach, and we have a big problem looking for Chametz in Pesach, and so on and so forth. What's the importance of Bdikat Chametz? What's the importance of Pesach? What's the importance of all the Moedim? Yesterday we spoke a little bit about it. But every Chag, every Moed, has its own nekuda, its own point, in which it fixes up the place that was blemished due to that grip that Paro had on us Chayut. Am Yisrael receives his livelihood, his aliveness, from the Chagim, from the Yom Tov. And the Yom Tov is a Yom Tov to remember. Yom Tov to Hashem, not Yom Tov to your belly. And we need to remember this. When we refer to the Kabbalah, refers to the parts of the body, refers to the throat, the garon of the person, which is called Koach Hadat, the power of intellect. That power of intellect was controlled completely by Paro. In other words, if I'm going to hold the throat, why the throat is so important? Because if I can control the passages for your food and for your oxygen, I control you. So Paro, that's why I said Paro specifically held us by the throat. And today, that grip, and what Paro was doing, and it's something that we still affected, is he disturbed the balance of Am Yisrael, where we feel that we cannot live physical life with spiritual life go hand in hand. We feel that we always have to choose either this or this. We lost the ability to create a balance, a well put together life where you could be a spiritual person and still be a part of this life and enjoy life. And I do say it, enjoy life. But experience physical world as a Kadosh Baruch Hu and His Torah serve as your point of reference to this life. The biggest problem that this affects, and this is a problem that most of the people are affected by, and that's why we have Reform, Conservatives, what we said yesterday when we were talking about it. It is, at a certain point, they didn't feel to have the guts to say, you know what? I'm through with Judaism. I'm just going to become a secular person. So they became hypocrites. And they created Reform and Conservative Judaism, which by itself is a new type of religion. Judaism is one. You can call your next door neighbor mommy, but she ain't your mom. She's something else. Maybe she'll nurse you, but she's not your mom. That problem that I feel that I need to change, and it's not working for me. I don't feel inspired by Judaism. I have a question. We all have questions. But first of all, do we really want to have answers? Or questions are just for the sake of asking without wanting to hear? Why are you asking questions? Because you want to know. Do you really want to know? Or you just want to ask questions? You tell me. The biggest problem that we have It's not that Judaism does not inspire me. I don't feel elevated. It's simple as that. We don't have emunah. Our belief is impaired. All right, Michael, don't sleep. We don't believe. We feel that we need to do so. If our belief was complete, it would have been a totally different story. You have to do your hishtadlut. You have to put your effort in. You have to pay your dues. But there's a difference between paying your dues and robbing a bank. Everybody needs to work according to his emunah. And the tests are according to your emunah. But the problem is, the test comes, we are so imbalanced, we throw God under the bus, and we move on with our life, living life of doubts the rest of our life. And again, and I'll say it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it. We always define ourselves by what we are not by what we are. And inside of us, each and every one of us, ma'aminim, b'nei ma'aminim, we believe. The Jew believes. The Jew believes. The problem is, he's internally imbalanced. He's internally imbalanced. He thinks he has to choose. You don't have to choose. You can live life, and you can enjoy life, and you should enjoy life. However, in the guidelines of the Torah, in the presence of Hashem, there's a problem of emunah. And emunah you need to practice. Emunah is not something that you're just born with. You need to work it out. Le'amen. Muscles. But Rabbi, if I'll do this, really, this is going to... Yes, it will happen. Oh man, I don't want to take a chance. So what happens? Instead of coming to yeshiva, you got to look for a job interview. I hope you don't get it. Why? Because you need to learn. You need to learn. If you choose this over this, eventually, you're going to say, listen, God, I got to work on Shabbat. I got to work on Yom Tov. What can I do? I'm going to lose the job over Yom Tov. Now you're going to make a pilpul. Davar aved, also beyom tov la chol hamoed is mutar. Okay, Right? So this is the grab that we have, that Paro has us every single year on us. That kind of life, when we feel this imbalance between our physical and spiritual life, can lead us to death. But I mean spiritual death. There are certain people who are hanging by a thread of spiritual life support, and they refuse to do anything for it. They go back to the tum'ah, to the impure. They think they're going to go to the mikveh 50 times and that's going to cure them from all their desires. No, you need to work on it. You need to balance it. You can sleep inside the mikveh. It's not going to do it to you. You need to get up and do something. And your work, yes, we all need to work. On what? That's your question. Some wants to work on money. The other one wants to work on Avodat Hashem. Whatever you want to work. But everybody's got to work, and we're all working. So our problem is emunah. And we don't want to come to the point of Chametz, which becomes big and it chokes us. We need to look after this Chametz very carefully. Because the Chametz, spiritually, sits right at this point, right here on your throat. That's why we say, in Bet HaMikdash, what do we say? Ki kol seor v'chol devash lo taktiru mimeno. We can't bring Chametz in Bet HaMikdash, right? Why? Because of that. Bet HaMikdash, 100% year-round, kasher lePesach. That's the reason. Because the chayut of Am Yisrael is dependent on this nekuda, on that point. And what's that point? Bet HaMikdash. What Bet HaMikdash represents? Bet HaMikdash represents the heart, the center of Jewish spirituality. And if you bring chametz there, you choke it. That's why you can bring chametz there. Now think about it. So when you look for chametz, you get down on your knees. It's not a symbolic thing that you do. It is avodah ruchanit. Yes, you might get on your knees, and your knees hurt, and you're tired, and you can't move your hands. But this is not a physics. So therefore, as much as your body hurts, it's not a problem. Because it's not a work that the body does. It's the job that the soul does. The neshama does this work. You don't look for the chametz with your hands. You look at with your neshama. You look bechorim uzdakim and all your cracks, because that controls your livelihood. Now you might understand what the Ari says regarding kol nizar bechametz b'mashu b'pesach. Why the Ari said if you're careful with that, it's almost a guarantee you're not going to be fault with ma'achalot asurot, because ma'achalot asurot go here, you eat it, and what happens to the food, ma'achalot asurot that you eat? Nothing. The body digests it, you're right, but the soul doesn't. Our Jewish soul does not have the ability to process non-kosher food. So what happens with it? It overwhelms it. Try to put diesel in your engine, on your rear regular gasoline engine. You know what will happen? It will blow up. That's exactly what happens to us. Diesel is good for diesel. Jet fuel for jets. And we have regular octane that we put in a car. That's chametz. And there are different types in chametz. There are different types of chametz. There's chametz, there's seor, there's machmetzet, there's maseret, and so on and so forth. And each one corresponds with a different type of kfira. Kfira means what? What's kfira in English? When a person is kofer. How do you call a kofer in English? A heretic. Right? What happens? So what's this kfira? Heresy. Right? When you disacknowledge God in the world. Each one corresponds to a different type of disacknowledgement of God in the world. So when I'm looking for chametz, I'm not looking for chametz. I'm actually finding God. I don't go to hotels. I don't want somebody else to look for chametz for me. I'm looking for my chametz. I'm in the driver's seat of my life, and I'm willing to work hard for it. I cook, I clean, I'm free. I don't need somebody else to do it for me. Then I'm dependent on someone. It's not Obamacare. Oops. Whatever. Free country. First Amendment. First Amendment. That's why a Yehudi, a Jew, right? There's different types of kfirah. There are atheists, there's apikoros, there's different types of kfirah, right? So a Jew who goes through Pesach without shaking off his chametz, it happens usually to any other Jew who did not let go, or who did not want to, or couldn't break away from the grip of Paro in him. They simply disappeared. They stayed in Egypt. There's 4/5 of the Jews that stayed in Egypt. Where are they today? They're gone. We are all here, even the atheist among us. By the way, you can't be a Jew and be an atheist. You can't. Because what defines you is the religion. So you can't be you're anti-body? It's almost a stupid thing to be an atheist. I'm a Jew, but I'm an atheist. You're nothing. We're all these people. We are all here today because we and our fathers and our forefathers, ma'aminim b'nei ma'aminim. You want to be the last of the Mohicans? The last one of your people? What are you going to say to your ancestors? Where's your gratitude for what people have done for you? That's why atheists are selfish. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Most likely they don't have kids either. They have a poodle. Oh, Shih Tzu. Sorry. Right? Have kids. If you can't have kids, I'll tell you how you can have kids. Have students. Talmidim, kebanim. So it's not the point of having kids. Bringing kids to the world is not a sport. It's about giving from yourself to others, because there is God in the world who gives it. He gives you. For what? For you to share with others. That's why you can have more children than actually you can have children. If you put Talmidim, and then you see children, your students have students, and so on and so forth. That's the issue of looking for Chametz. That's why we need to be oker at root, bali raeh uvali matzeh. You don't see it, and you don't have it in your possession and all. That's why we also burn, one of the reasons why we burn 10 pieces of Chametz in Pesach, because 10 represents shlemut, completion. There are other reasons for the 10 sfeirot, but this is 10 represent a whole, a section. So we burn the Chametz inside of us, that to show that everything, we are clean, our whole entire body is clean from this grip of Chametz, of heresy that we have towards Hashem. And that's why, there's many nisyonot that a person has to do during Pesach. How much you're going to clean, how far you're going to clean. It's expensive. But for me, when I go to the supermarket, and listen, it's expensive to buy. It's expensive to buy. But I see it as different. I see it as a renewal. I'm starting new. I'm buying right now. That's why Pesach, right? That's why Pesach, in terms of the month, is a new month, is a new year. I see it as I'm starting new. I need a diet, a special, as much as a baby, when he comes out to the world, he needs a special diet. You can't give him adult food. It will be very nice if you give the child of a newborn some 18-ounce steak. I don't think it'll be good for him. He needs baby food. He needs mother's milk. Buying our kosher lepesach ingredients is like mother milk to us, that helps us start from this point new. That's the secret of Chametz. This is the avodah pnimit. So clean, get down on your knees. Clean. Clean until your fingers bleed. But you gotta clean and look for it. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us also to be machnia, to conquer the Yetzer Hara, and to create a balanced life, a balanced Jewish life. That everything we do, we should see the glory of Hashem, and we should take it for Him. Amen. Amen.